Okay, so I'll be doing this to take notes for myself because I can get this right now, but you all tomorrow I could not get it due to anxiety and other ailments. I have problems that I would I teach myself how to do things that I've done by just literally going back to them. So if this helps someone else, great. I'm going to break this down. So it says the Oki family and the Richardson family each use their sprinklers. So we know that there's going to be two families. The A family and the R family is what we'll name them, and we'll call them the Oki family X, and we'll call the Richardson family Y. The Oki family sprinklers were used for 20 hours. So we know something else. We know the hours. The Oki family was used for 20 hours. The Richardson family sprinkler was used for 25 hours. We got more information. We know that the Richardson family were used for 25 hours. So far we have X, which equals to Oki, and their hours, which equals to 20. Okay? And the same thing with the Richardsons. We got Y and we have 25. Okay? There were a combined total output of 1,100 liters of water. Okay, so we have more information. We know that there was a combined output when you put both of them together, that it was all equal up to the liters of water, which was 1,100. We're going to put that 1,100 down here at the bottom because it was all combined together, 1,100. What was the output rate for each sprinkler if the sum, which sum means addition, of the two rate was 50 liters per hour? Okay, so their sum was 50 liters per hour. We're going to put that 50 down under X and Y because X is the liters. So we know the hours, but X is the liters. So we know that X is going to represent now, and Y, these variables here are going to represent the liters because that's what we don't know. But they did give us the liters per hour, so we do know that they use 50 liters per hour. So our problem is going to end up looking like this. Okay, it's going to look like X plus Y equals 50, and it's going to look like, we'll combine these together, remember, 20X plus 25Y equals 1,100. Okay, so all I did was turn this, they're linear already, into a linear equation, two linear equations. Okay, that's it, easy peasy. We'll use a different color so you'll know your steps that you should take. We have another problem. We have to find a way using these two linear equations to get either the X, and I'm sorry I forgot to put the 25Y behind there. We're going to put it in red so we won't confuse anybody. It's supposed to be 25Y there. Don't forget your variable. You're going to need that variable. Okay? So the next step is we have to get either the X or the Y alone. Pick and choose. It doesn't matter which one that you choose. I like to choose the one that's the smallest number. To get rid of the smallest number is what I like to do. But you don't have to do that. So I'm going to choose 20X. I want to get rid of X. Okay? I want to keep my 25Y. What can I do to the top equation, that first linear equation here? What can I do to this equation to get rid of my 20X in the other equation? Well, I know what I can do. I can multiply 20 by X. That'll get me negative 20X. I can multiply it, by negative 20X, or negative 20, and that'll give me negative 20X. Let's do that. So what we're going to do up here is we're going to multiply this by negative 20. We got another problem. Linear equations don't like stingy people. So think of it this way. Anything that you do to that X, you're going to have to do it to Y, and then the equal sign, behind the equal sign, that 50 is going to feel like you're screwing it too. So you're going to do it to it as well. Negative 50 I'm sorry, negative 20. Negative 20, negative 20. You're going to multiply all of these by negative 20. What? Yeah, because you had to multiply that x by negative 20 so you can get negative 20x, so you can cancel out that 20x there, okay? So now let's do the math. We're going to come down here. We're going to say negative 20 times x is going to give you negative 20x. That's this one right here. Go ahead, cross it out. Okay, then you have positive y times negative 20, which is going to give you minus 20y or negative 20y. Say it like you want, but it's going to be minus 20y. Equals, and then we have negative 20 times 50. What's 20 times 50? 20 times 50 is 1,000, and it's negative 20, so it's going to be negative 1,000, because a negative times a positive is a what? It is a negative. That's why. It's just what it is. Okay? So you're going to end up with negative 20x minus 20y. We're going to cross these out. You done got rid of them. Get rid of the stuff you ain't using so it won't confuse you. Now you're going to be left with negative 20x minus 20y equals negative 1,000. And you still have your second equation, of course, that 20x plus 25y equals 1,100. But guess what you can do now? You can get rid of that 20x, because 20x minus negative 20x is going to be 0. So you can, boom, get rid of that. That's gone. And that's going to actually be our next color here. So you can go ahead and get rid of that. All right. That's just going to leave you with 25y and negative 20y. You could do something with that because they're like terms. They're both y now. You could do something with that. What's 25 minus 20? Well, 25 minus 20 is 5. So you're going to end up with 5y. So you're just going to do your math here. And it's going to be equal to, you have another something back here. You're doing the same thing. Everything you just did over here, you have to do over here behind the equal sign. Why? Because don't be stingy. So 1,100 minus 1,000 is going to give you 100. Okay. Now, that y is still not alone. What are you going to do to get rid of that 5 by that y? You're going to do the opposite of what's in front of that y, which is multiplication. We're going to divide, and we can actually do another color. Why not? We're going to divide that 5 by both sides because you're not being stingy, okay? And that's going to make you have y equals 100 divided by 5. Which is going to give you, and I'm sorry, yeah, that's right, which is going to give you 20. I had to stop and take a second. Matter of fact, you should never mind. So it's going to give you y equals 20. So now we know our y. Okay. Now that we know our y, we can do something with this. There's something else that we know. We know, since we know that y equals 20, we also know that there was a rate of 50 liters per hour. So how can we find our x? Well, it's not that hard. All you're going to do to find x, and we're going to change colors to something else. I don't know what we got up here. We're going to do our x, which is our A family, is equal, and we're going to put our R family here, is equal to 50 minus 20. Why did I do that? Why am I minusing 50 minus 20? Well, we know that per hour, our R family used 20, and the total rate for the sum was 50. So to find the X family, we're just going to take 20 away from that 50, which is going to give us 30. And now we know that the Oki family used 30. So the Oki family used 30. And I'm going to keep going back to it because sometimes I switch these numbers up. I have dyslexia and numbers are all over the place sometimes. And the Y family, which is the Richardsons, used 20. So one used 30 and one used 20. And we're going to go ahead and check our answer. And as you can see, it's correct. So hopefully this helped you all. The only way that I'm actually able to do a problem like this is to literally create a chart. And I found that with my dyslexia, and it took me taking longer to, get things, sometimes taking the longer step that I can talk my way through it helps. And this may help you as well if you deal with like anxiety or something else like that. This could drastically help you just by creating a chart, breaking everything down in your brain and saying, okay, this is what we have. We know the families, and we're going to make the families X, and then we're going to make the families represent, one represent X, one represent Y, and depending on however many families or mechanics or whatever they asking you for, you just put them there. It could be X, Y, G, whatever you want. And you just put them there, and then the information that they give you, they say, okay, hours. You put hours at the top, then you put your hours. And then you just combine them together, that 20x, and then do what they ask you to do with, the combined totals, what it equals. Sometimes it may be subtraction or something else like that. It may say how much more, or how much, or something like that, and more is going to be subtraction. Or difference. It may ask you how much more or different, or the difference, and those two words mean subtract. Okay. So that is about it. Hopefully this helps someone.